Edmonia Lewis, also known as Wildfire, born 1844 to 1907. Edmonia Lewis is the first professional African-American sculptor to receive both national and international prominence and notoriety. Her father was a free African-American of Haitian descent, and her mother was of mixed race, of African-American and Ojibwe Native American. Unfortunately, she was orphaned when she was 5, and she was sent to go live with her mother's tribe with her aunties until she was 12 years old. She went to school where she was admonished as a wild child, but as her grades would later be found, they reflected no such thing, as her conduct and grades were exemplary. Her brother, Samuel Lewis, also known as Sunshine, was an abolitionist. He helped to fund her education and sent her to Ohio for studies. There, she was daily ridiculed and hurled racist attacks because people of color were the minority. For education, she was accused of many crimes, beaten, and left for dead, and eventually the school rejected her to coming back, but she finally had enough and she left Ohio. As a Black woman, she chased after her dreams, even if her beloved country gave her limited resources to be accepted and formally trained as a sculptor. Nothing held her back. She began to make portrait busts of well-known abolitionists to raise funds in order to study in Europe, where they may be a little bit more accommodating. She created busts for William Lloyd Garrison, Charles Sumner, and Wendell Phillips. During the Civil War, she financed her trip to Europe by making portrait busts of abolitionist John Brown and Colonel John Gould Shaw, a Boston hero and a white leader of the celebrated all-African-American 54th Regiment of the Civil War. After traveling from London, Paris, and Milan, she settled in Rome. She's known for her idealized neoclassical designs. For those who do not know that terminology, it's a fancy way of saying she created new sculptures that looked like old sculptures found in ancient Rome. She also preferred the look and perfected the look of something that was ideal, meaning something that was perfected. She often studied the art of Renaissance masters, like Donatello and Michelangelo. Unfortunately, much of her work has not survived, and the work that has survived are masterpieces. She would often create biblical subject matters which depicted ethnic humanitarian narratives. Some notorious works are Hagar, also known as Hagar in the Wilderness, the death of Cleopatra, and other subject matters pertaining to her heritage. She came back to the States and showcased her work in San Francisco and Ohio. She never married, and she never had children. After her showing in San Francisco, her life really is left in obscurity, and little is known about her or her death. Even her death is conflicting. Some say she died in England in 1907, but she was also reported having been living in Rome even up until 1911. Know her name. Know Edmonia Lewis. Black history is American history.